Hi everyone, it's day 15 of my journey to alignment. I feel like a news anchor who always begins their newscast by saying their name when I say, "Good evening, I'm Marty Braden coming to you from Bountiful, Utah." Anyway, this is my 15th video journal entry for my journey to alignment, and I have to say that the 15 daily steps that I've taken so far have been incredibly enlightening and life-changing for me. I say life-changing because I'm changing personally. I am changing my thinking process. I'm making different decisions, so my thinking has caused me to take different actions that I used to do, and those actions so far are bringing results that have been exciting and very productive. And it's been giving me even more energy to go and do what I know I need to do and show up as the person I want to show up. Tonight, I want to just update you on the fact that every morning for 15 days now, I have said right out loud my personal power affirmations. I thought about what I wanted to program my mind to believe about those, or about myself and how I wanted to show up, or what to say to make good things happen so I can get centered and I can listen to what my inner self is saying about who I really am. I asked myself, the two employees I got, my subconscious mind and my vibrational mind, to go out in search of facts and evidence to support, and the support material that will back up what they come back with as my true information of who I am. Those truths that I wanted to listen to on my affirmation list as I spoke them out loud. After saying this request out loud to go and get the job done for 15 mornings now, and saying those affirmations, I've gotten past the "I believe they're possible" stage. And I now feel that I'm simply declaring to the world who I really am, and who I am, and how I want to show up each and every day. It's really been empowering. In yesterday's video entry, I talked a lot about how I'm bringing pieces of my big dreams through the portal of my mind into the world of the physical. And I've been given several examples for you of that fact. Before I get too far into review of today's experiences and what I didn't do well, I wanted to share with you an additional point about the law of attraction and manifestation that I think will be very enlightening and informing to you and to me. I've told you about my last job and the kind of monthly paychecks I made, but I forgot to share with you one very important point and principle with that experience. I told you that about 3 months into that job that I got, I had the idea come to me to combine, if not all products, some of the services that we had, or even the majority of them, into one package as an annual package. And that really changed things for me for the next 5 years, and for my team, because they followed right suit, because they saw what was happening. The one point I forgot to mention about this was this: the one idea this one idea of that little packaging concept ended up being worth over $1.4 million in gross income for me in just 5 short years, or just under that. That one idea, when you divide $1.4 million by 5 years, it averages to $280,000 a year, or $23,330 a month for 60 months. That one idea. That's what I call a big idea. I'm just glad that I had enough confidence in myself at that time to at least recognize the idea as a possible way to increase my commissions by working smart and not just hard, doing a lot of little small sales. I remember reading a small ebook called "Breaking the Time Barrier" by a man named Mike McDermott. The main gist of the book was this: it's the eternal struggle of the freelance worker, and I put in parentheses, or self-employed worker, or those who work to earn a living by mainly earning commissions, to decide how you price your work in a way that's fair to both you and the client. Nothing less than your career success and personal happiness hinges on this question. By reading this book, you'll come away with a whole new way of looking at your value and your relationship with your clients. End of quote. In other words, do you charge an hourly rate for the hours you give or sell your customers or clients? Or do you charge a rate for what you deliver in the way of complete and exciting full results, so that you can charge for your value? This was a great book that helped form in my mind the fact that I am not just a robot that is worth $35 an hour or $50 an hour or even $300 an hour like a doctor or an attorney charges. It's the old joke about the blue-collar worker coming to help a company with their large boiler room that was having a problem. He and the building maintenance man came in and went down to the basement where the room of the boiler was, and this maintenance guy had a heavy wrench that he banged on the boiler here a little while, then he went on the other side and banged on the boiler there, and then he thought for a couple of minutes, and when it connected in his mind, he went around to the side where the valves connect and gave it a big whack at the top of the valve. He then said to the maintenance man over the building that day, "That should take care of it," and he was done and out of there. Well, about a week later, the maintenance man got the bill in the mail for over $1,500. So he called the fix-it guy that came and said, "How could you charge me $1,500 for just 15 minutes of banging on the tank?" The fix-it guy said, "It's more than fair because the $1,500 was for knowing where to bang on the tank." Knowing where to bang on the tank. So I've always remembered that, and I think that idea or principle was in my head and was in my subconscious, went back and picked it out of my mind's notes and pulled it forward and told me I can sell on results and performance and not for just my little hours or my little commissions on onesie, twosie, little small sales. And I can be paid by my company on more than just the base. My commissions can explode. I treated the commission part of my work, the salary, the base that I got salary, and then the commissions, especially the commissions, I treated as though it was my business. And I was worth what I knew I could deliver in the way of results to my accounts. I got a graphic designer at that company who I liked, and he had done a few things like this for me several times. And so I asked him to prepare a one-off creative that I could send to all my accounts that had pretty good results from the smaller packages that they had been sold earlier. And I sold them on an idea that I would package all of these tools that we have and the videos that we would make and the banner ads and the tower ads and so forth and above the fold ads and the affiliate links as one complete package for $10,000 a month or more for an annual agreement. And they would do it because if you take the leads and the sales that they were getting now, and then what I was proposing that they would get, especially through the buy button, this was a 5x to those sales, and that it would actually, though, drop their cost per lead and per sale by 25%. So they'd save 25%, even though they were paying for a large amount per month for the year. But the proof was in the pudding. I used those numbers to sell them on the value of the results, not just on me doing a little package. And so by thinking in terms of the results, I would be providing them and putting my company and them both having skin in the game. I stated the closing sales were 5 to 10 times the size I was selling before the idea, and my buy link affiliate PPA commission more than tripled. And so my income skyrocketed when I had most of these clients doing this annual package of a total package. The idea to make up the one sheet creative and have a total package was the beginning of me making my goal come through the portal of my mind into the world of the physical. That idea, I put on that little form, I had an artist put it together. I said, yep, that's what I want to say. And that came from my mind into the world of the physical, and I emailed it out, and these people saw it, and it caused conversation after conversation, and those calls came through the portal of my mind. I didn't know what was really happening at that time, but that is exactly what happened. I made more than $1 million in less than 5 years, one piece at a time. I have one more thing I wanted to do before I get into talking about my day-to-day. I've mentioned my wife Kathleen quite a bit in most of my video entries, and so I thought that if anyone had started to watch some of my videos and heard me mention her name, that you'd probably like to see her and what she looks like. And so I got a picture. I'm going to have and put it right here where you can see it. Get that little light out of it. Well, that's that beautiful woman called Kathleen. That's my wife. She's fantastic. I know you're thinking, what the heck is that beautiful woman doing with that Humpty Dumpty guy? Anyway, I can answer that question for you. She was 18 years old when I proposed to her, and I was 22, and I didn't take no for an answer. That's why she's proven the fact that I married her, that I've been a good salesman for a long time. I know you're looking at her and then looking at me and then back to her, and you can't help but wonder. I asked the same question too, but let's just say that I drew lots of pictures, I wrote lots of poems, I played the guitar as they sang songs that I wrote for her. Each of these pieces of songs and cards and drawings grabbed a little piece of her heart and brought it through the portal of the mind into the world of my heart, my physical heart. I even worked through her saying no at first. I actually said no. But I didn't take no for an answer, so salesman never does. And so I just kept on believing and saying to myself, she'll come around. It's possible. It's not only was possible, in fact, I got a big yes from her, and we married August 16th, 1976, nearly 44 years ago. I call that the best deal I ever closed. I'm just kidding, honey. Anyway, I wanted to share those thoughts and those things with you and get them recorded on my video before I started getting into today very much. So, now then, at the end of the day today, I decided what the one thing was that would have made the most impact in making all the pieces of my big dreams come through the portal of my mind and into the world of the physical tomorrow, and to put its essence into a power statement for tomorrow. My power statement is, I will start using the two best assistants or employees that ever were by giving them my most important assignments every morning as I start my day. I'll be direct and purposeful so that they know exactly what I'm wanting them to do. Of course, I'm talking about my subconscious mind and my vibrational mind. Employee 1 is my subconscious mind, who I'm calling the gatekeeper. And the employee 2, my vibrational mind, I'm calling the prosecutor. These two powerful minds work in tandem. The gatekeeper goes and gets all the support material I need to confirm what I am asking for is what will allow me to show up as the person I really am as I put them on and put on those goals. The prosecutor looks at the support material and the evidences and validates that it's real. In fact, it goes out to the whole universe and brings in support and more evidence to confirm that it is, in fact, will help me achieve what I desire and want. If it is to be my if it's to be my benefit, but only if I align it to it. It's the light and truth and knowledge I'm needing, and it's all that evidence coming into alignment when I get myself aligned to those three minds. Its evidence is real, it's powerful evidence, and it will confirm what I'm wanting to be and to do going forward. In other words, it's viable. That parachute I'm putting on is viable. It will hold me up and let me land properly. In other words, it confirms that the parachute I'm wanting to put on is going to work. It's going to support me to a safe landing. And my desire, my goal, will manifest itself as a little movie that I can watch in my vibrational mind screen, where it shows how real it can be. It's my job then to act on what I receive and saw in my mind. And when I'm completely aligned with all three of my minds, the pieces of my goals will start coming through, like I've talked before and shared proof before, through the portal of my mind and arrive into the world of the physical, piece by piece. I love seeing my movie pre-played of what's going to be. I have to say, after 15 days of doing this and acting on all of this, putting into practice the concepts I'm learning about from Croy's audio series, Instant Manifestation Secrets, and from all the support material and evidence my subconscious and vibrational minds have been gathering for me and have shown me in little movies in my mind, I am getting aligned more and more often than I ever have before. I'm finding that I am feeling great power in myself when I do in fact achieve this alignment and find myself centered and showing up as the person I really am. It's fantastic. So let's get to the daily end of the day success routine questions. The first question is, what could I have done better today? Well, my power statement that I wanted to have for today that I wrote out yesterday evening was, I will see visual pre-played movies of how the pieces of my big goals will look as finished goals and dreams, and I will be grateful for them. I have to say that overall, my days are starting to be filled more and more with these kinds of daydream movies. However, today was a little bit lacking in the way of real visual pieces in pre-played movies in my mind. I'll tell you why. In other words, I didn't get to go to the movies today like I wanted to because I was really busy trying to get all the tasks done that I had put on my list to do. But The next question is, what went well? Or what did I do really well so that my goals, or at least some of the pieces of them, came through the portal of my mind into the world of my physical world? Because I was working on bringing the current pieces I came up with in previous movies, and they were all on my list for the same goals that I've talked about for 15 days now. I got several of them through the portal of my mind into the world of the physical because I've been busy doing that. I got my calendar and started to select dates with Kathleen for future visits with our friends, family, and neighbors. I had the experience of coming across a video tutorial on making money from your YouTube videos, as well as linking to a video that shared the 3 top ways to get subscribers to your video and others to try to have more traffic so that I can subscribe some folks, both of which were ideas and thoughts I had that I had sent out by my two minds, my two employees, the gatekeeper and the prosecutor. Go out and do your job and search high and low for all these proof that I need. And for the first time I was online this morning, I came across these 2 videos, and those pieces of my bigger dream and goal showed up. I wanted to know about subscribers, and the first link that was right there just popped in before I could even view what I wanted, and I clicked on it and saved it. And then later on in YouTube I was doing that, and I saw a link, and I opened it, and it showed all the things that I can learn and do about this. So it's very cool how those showed up, and I recognized them. In fact, my mind screamed at me to click on both of them. As I read and watched, I realized, or I might say my conscious mind recognized them for what they were. And so all 3 of my minds aligned at that moment, and I received 2 new sources of light, knowledge, and power for making the pieces of my dreams show up on this side of the portal of my mind. So I guess what I'm saying is I've been so busy doing that I've not had or taken the time to go to the movies much today or yesterday as it was. And that's why I chose the power statement I did. I wanted to do a little more movie watching each day, if at all possible, and that way I will keep visualizing what it is I am wanting to have happen and who I want to show up as, and that really helps me big time. So here's the power statement I have for tomorrow. I will take some time each morning to go to the movies, to see visual pre-played movies of how my dreams and goals look like in real time as I see them pre-played in my mind, and what the pieces are that they show up as I watch it, as they're going to come through to the other side of my mind into the real world of the physical. It's kind of a long, but it's basically you see what it's saying. I'm going to watch the movies, I'm going to pay attention what those pieces are, I'm going to spend a little time pre-playing that. I'm pretty confident, and I can include this movie going in my win the morning, win the day routine, doing the mindfulness and journaling phases, part of my morning routine, as well as spending some of the time during the last few minutes of my end the day success routine. 10 to 15 minutes of combined thinking into existence, these movies, and pondering and letting them come up on the stage of my mind to see my dreams as they already are is so fantastic. I can imagine as they already are, and they show up as movies. The last question is, how would I rate my day today, considering all that I got done and all that I didn't get done? Well, I think today was an 8. It was great, but certainly not a 10. And that's okay, because my ability to see the gaps or shortfalls of my day, what my failures were during my day-to-day as I worked on completing my long list of activities, it did improve, and so I'm pretty I feel I'm getting better at being quick to observe and, oh, that's what's happening. That's what that is. That's part of that goal. What I'm doing well and making note of it, and asking my 2 employees, the gatekeeper and the prosecutor, to go and bring me back helpful support material and evidence so I can be better tomorrow. I'm confident when I say that by including more consistent pre-playing of my goals on the movie screen of my mind each morning will do several things for me, not the least of which is to infuse me with new energy and excitement as I see them, and I realize that's what I'm going to have, as though they're already here, and that makes me jump up and want to get going to it and get it done. Before I go, let me mention some of the tasks on my list for tomorrow. Follow up on what the requirements are before I can add links to my videos on YouTube. Check what days in February that we can have dates with family and or friends and decide what we want to do with them and which days. Bring up extra phone charger. I got one down the drawer back there, I just realized, and get a new longer cord for the charger so I can set my phone. That's one of those little round circles you just set your phone on and it charges. Right on the stand by my head, there's a little stand as I lay it, I can touch within 6 to 12 inches by my head for when I have an idea or thought now that might come 2 or 3 in the morning and wait. And those darned employees, they work 24/7, so they're coming at me at 3 in the morning and wake me up. And that way I can write it down on my notes, like I said with the phone, in my phone notes, and save it and go to sleep and let it, okay, it's done. And I go right back to sleep. Another one, buy TurboTax through a link on America First, I noticed, to get a referral discount they have on it. And that way I can prepare my tax and save a little money on my taxes for 2019. Get a file box and the file folders for sorting all my receipts. I got a pile of these, it just needs to get organized. And so I'm getting a box and about a $3, $4 box of file folders. I can title what they are and sort those out, and I'm ready to do all my total numbers for my taxes before the end of the month. Type up an Excel sheet for Airbnb financials of expenses. It's not huge. They had 19 folks, 20 folks that came, and they each paid. I have a record. It's right there on the, I can print out the account, bank account statement, because they all went through that, and then list down, type in all the different expenses for the year, and then I'll see what the net profit or what the net profit was, a loss was. These are just some of the details, the tasks to do. Some are not so important, and some are very important in terms of being pieces that help to make the big dream or goals manifest themselves into my world of the physical. And so I can say I'm achieving them. And ultimately I'll say, I did it. Done. I don't want to share or do boring things so that I get discouraged and begin to dread doing my video journal. But I do want to share some of the things that that I'm doing. They may be small, may be big, but I want to be accountable to myself. And so that's why I read a few of those, and I'll report back how they did in getting them done. I mentioned a few of the big dream pieces, especially, that I have to get done in order to be accountable in getting them through the personal mind's portal into the world of the physical. And it's helped me, so I will do the things they need to do here and here and here. Anyway, that's it. I'll see you tomorrow night, Thursday night, the 16th of January. Until then, I wish you success and hope you go to the movies so your dreams can come true too. Good night.